Hello, dear student. Welcome to the chemistry class. We are dealing with chapter number 3 metals and non-metals. In the last two videos, we had studied the chemical properties of metals. We have discussed different chemical properties of metals. And on that basis of chemical properties of metals, we had arranged the different metals in the order of their reactivity. You can see here in this picture the reactivity series of metals. The most reactive metals like sodium, potassium, calcium are placed at the top. Then comes the metals which react but at moderate rate like aluminium, zinc and iron. And at the bottom are the metals which are least reactive or non-reactive at all. If you will notice in this reactivity series, hydrogen is placed. Despite being a non-metal, hydrogen is often placed in the reactivity series, as it helps to compare the reactivities of the metals. You can see here the hydrogen placed and all the metals which are placed above hydrogen: sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead are more reactive as compared to the metals which are placed below hydrogen, that is copper, silver, gold. We have discussed in the chemical properties of metals that the reactive metals, as we have seen, the metals which are placed above hydrogen in the series, can displace it from acid such as hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. You can see here in the reaction when magnesium, zinc, and aluminium are reacting with the acid like HCl, they are displacing hydrogen from the acid, and therefore we are placing hydrogen in the reactivity series. I hope, children, this is clear to you. Let us now discuss the next topic: how do metals react with the non-metals? To understand the reaction between metals and non-metals, we have to recall what we have learned about the electronic configuration of elements in class 9th. We learned that noble gases have completely filled valence shell, show very little reactivity. But the metals and the non-metals have incompletely filled valence shell, and therefore to attain noble gas configuration they undergo various reactions. Let us first revise the energy level diagram of the atom. This you have studied in your ninth class. The center black dot, as you can see in this figure, is the nucleus. We had also learned that nucleus is the place where the protons, positively charged subatomic particle, and neutron, the neutral subatomic particle, is present. Therefore, the nucleus as a whole is positively charged. It is due to this proton and neutron is the mass of the atom. We calculate the mass of the atom by adding the number of protons and number of neutrons. Outside the nucleus, you can see these orbitals and the one which is very close to the nucleus is K shell, followed by L, M, and N shell. In these orbitals or shell, the electrons are moving. Electron, as you know, are negatively charged particle with negligible mass. In the ninth class, we had also learned first to 20 elements how the electrons are arranged in these orbitals. So let us now see the electronic configuration of some metals which will help us to understand the reaction between metals and non-metals. You can see this table 3.3. It is given in your book on page number 47. The type of elements, noble gas, metals and non-metals. We are going to discuss few elements of these types of elements. We'll see their electronic configuration. Let us start with the noble gas. Helium, its atomic number is 2, so the 2 electrons are present in the first shell K. Neon, having the atomic number 10, in which 2 electrons are present in K shell. The maximum capacity of the K shell is to accommodate 2 electrons. So, the next 8 electron will be present in the L shell. You can see argon having the atomic number 18. The 2 electrons are present in the K shell, 8 electron in the L shell, as the maximum capacity of the L shell is to accommodate 8 electron. So the next electrons will move to the M shell. Here you will notice that the shells are completely filled. They neither need any extra electron nor they have any extra electron to lose. They have octet is completely filled, and as a result these noble gases helium, neon, argon are termed as inert. They are non-reactive elements. They do not undergo any type of chemical reaction. Now, if you will notice the metals, sodium, it has atomic number 11 and the configuration is 281. Magnesium, atomic number 12, having the configuration 282. Aluminium, atomic number 13, having the configuration 283. Potassium, atomic number 19, having the configuration 2881. And calcium, atomic number 20, having the configuration 2882. All these metals have incompletely filled shell. If you will see their outermost shell, you will find that they have 1, 2, 3 electrons. They are incompletely filled shells, and as a result they become reactive. In order to attain electronic configuration like noble gas, they either lose, gain, or share the electrons and thus undergo chemical reaction. Similarly, look at the nonmetals. Nitrogen, atomic number 7, having the configuration 2 and 5. Oxygen, atomic number 8, having the configuration 2, 6. Fluorine, atomic number 9, having the configuration 2, 7. Phosphorus, atomic number 15, having the configuration 2, 8, 5. sulfur, atomic number 16, and the electrons are arranged in K shell 2, L 8, and in M shell 6. Chlorine, atomic number 17, having the electron in K shell 2, L 8, and 7 in M. Here also in the non-metals you will notice that the outermost shell is incompletely filled. As a result, to attain the configuration like noble gas, they undergo chemical reaction during which either they will lose these outermost shell electrons or will gain or will share the electrons. Let us now see how metals and non-metals which have incompletely filled outermost shell will attain noble gas configuration and will become stable like them. Let us take the example of sodium reacting with the chlorine forming sodium chloride. Let us first see the orbital diagram of sodium. As you can see in this figure, the first shell is having 2 electrons. The electrons are represented by the black dots here. The second shell is having 8 electrons and the third shell is having 1 electron. Due to the presence of 1 electron in the outermost shell, the sodium metals become unstable and therefore it is highly reactive. In order to attain noble gas configuration, it can lose its 1 electron and become stable, and therefore it will undergo a chemical reaction with those elements which can take its 1 electron. Now let us see the orbital diagram of chlorine. As we know that chlorine atomic number is 17, now see that how the electrons are arranged. Here you will see that 2 electrons are present in the first shell, 8 electron in the second shell, and 7 electron is present in the third outermost shell. It can have 8 electrons. Therefore, chlorine atom is unstable. In order to attain electronic configurations like noble gas, it need one more electron, and so it will take one electron from any other element, will complete its octet, will become stabilized, and therefore it will undergo a chemical reaction. Now let us see how sodium and chlorine are reacting. You can see in this figure sodium having 1 electron in its outermost shell. This 1 electron present in the outermost shell is called valence electron. So the valence electron of sodium is 1. This 1 electron present in sodium make it unstable and reactive. So in order to attain noble gas configuration, it will lose its 1 electron. It is always better to lose it 1 electron than to gain 7 electron from any other element. Gaining of 7 electron from any other element require tremendous amount of energy which is not possible. As a result, the sodium will lose it 1 electron. And so it will lose it 1 electron and will form a positive charge on it. So now the sodium atom has become sodium ion. Now see the chlorine. It has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. It is always better for it to take 1 electron than to lose 7 electrons from its outermost shell. Again, losing of 7 electron from outermost shell by chlorine require tremendous amount of energy which is not possible. So it is always better to take one electron to complete its octet at an noble gas configuration and to become stabilized. So sodium metal and chlorine nonmetal will undergo a chemical reaction where sodium will lose its one electron attending noble gas configuration becoming stabilized, and chlorine will gain this one electron. It also attend its noble gas configuration and become stabilized. During this loss and gain of electron, they will undergo chemical reaction forming the compound sodium chloride. One more thing to add to this is that sodium ions and chloride ions, being oppositely charged, attract each other and they will held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction in their compound formed sodium chloride. Let us see here the reaction which is taking place between the metal sodium and non-metal chlorine. Sodium having one electron in its outermost shell given to the chlorine. As a result, sodium atom become sodium ion. Chlorine, on the other hand, have 7 electron in its outermost shell, will take this electron of sodium and will complete its octet. As a result, they will combine together to form the compound sodium chloride. The bond will be formed between sodium and chlorine. This bond is called ionic bond as they come into the ionic state and form this bond. This type of compound is called ionic compound. Now let us see what is ionic bond. Complete transfer of electron from one atom, metal, to the other atom, non-metal, is called ionic bonds. So in the end, we can conclude that when metals are reacting with the non-metals, they are undergoing ionic bond formation, in which the metal is losing its electron of its outermost shell to attain noble gas configuration, and the non-metal is gaining the electron to complete its valence shell to attain its noble gas configuration and to become stabilized. During this process, they come together to form ionic bond and therefore the compound formed is called ionic compound. I hope students now it is clear to you how the elements are reacting with each other. They are undergoing various type of bond formation. One we have studied is ionic bonds. Many reactions we have studied from chapter number 1 to chapter number 3. Some of these reactions you will find where one element is losing the electron and other is gaining, undergoing ionic bond formation, and the compound is called ionic compound. In the next video, we are going to discuss one more ionic compound formation, that is magnesium chloride. We are also going to discuss the properties of the ionic compounds. I hope now you have understood what are ionic compounds and how the ionic bond formation is taking place. If you have any doubt related to the ionic compound or ionic bond formation, you can ask me through the message in Campus Care. In the next video, I will try to clear this ionic bond formation by giving you one more example of magnesium chloride. Till then, thank you and take care of yourself.